Hello, and welcome back to Let's Supreme Ghost Thief 2. Today we are playing the best mission so far in our campaign, without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion anyway. First City Bank and Trust, Mission 6, is one of the best missions that is made in all the Thief games. I haven't played Thief 3, and I've heard a lot of stuff about the Cradle and all that, but in the first two Thief games, this is in my top 3, I think, overall, something like that. I really enjoy it. It's a very difficult, large mission, which is right up my alley. So hopefully you guys are ready for this, as ready as I am. So let us load up the end of eavesdropping and watch the briefing for First City Bank and Trust.
I'm not surprised that the mechanists aren't the saints they claim to be. No one in this city is. But at least they've done me the favor of recording the incriminating meeting they had with Sheriff Truart. That recording should let me exert a little pressure on Truart to find out who hired him to kill me. But I'll have to acquire it first. The mechanists put the recording in a safety deposit box earlier today, but since I have a copy of the key, I should be able to open it. It didn't take much to learn that the mechanists do all their banking with First City Bank and Trust, one of the wealthiest establishments in town, catering to the financial needs of the city's upper crust. The bank vault is a huge tower, and I'm sure the safety deposit boxes are inside. Once inside the bank, I'll visit the Hall of Records and do a little snooping to find out which box belongs to the mechanists. Then I'll need to find a way to get inside the vault itself, grab the recording, and get out. No doubt the bank is well protected by mechanist security machines, in addition to the usual guard contingent. Risky, but you know I've always wanted a good enough excuse to break into First City Bank and Trust. But I always thought I'd be taking the risk just for the money.
Okay. So, break into the bank. It's a large building, so they can't put a guard at every possible entrance. That is true. It is a huge building. You'll need to know the number of the deposit box the recording is in. Search for information in the Hall of Records. Get inside the vault and steal the recording. Opening the vault will probably be difficult. Once you've got the recording, you are free to leave. Killing people is unnecessary, but destroying mechanist security machines is not an issue. Well, it is for us, because we can't cause any property damage. So, this mission, unfortunately, cannot be Supreme Ghosted. We have to disable security cameras in 2 different areas. And there is absolutely no way around that. I've really tried to find a way around the lobby cameras. That is the only one that would be maybe conceivably possible, but it is not. There's no way, and I'll show you that. There's another camera staring straight at the vault entrance that also cannot be avoided, but we can turn both of them off. So that's good, and both of those can be turned back on again. So it's only the disabling of security systems or turning off of cameras, which is not allowed to do for Supreme, but it is possible for Ghost. And we should not need to take any other busts here for Supreme. I don't think we need to take any first alerts, use any moss arrows, turn off any lights or douse any torches, anything like that. And we can reset everything bar 1 to its original configuration. But we should only need to take 2 busts. Like I said initially, this is just almost a perfect mission in my opinion, because it's you're breaking into a bank, for crying out loud. I mean, what thief doesn't want to do that? And how intimidating is that? Especially with all the cameras and robots roaming around. Now, there's also a random element when you play this mission, which I didn't know actually until I played it this time. I looked it up, and there are guards, robots, and cameras that are randomly placed inside the bank. I don't really know how many or which ones. There's none outside, and I don't think there's any in the basement. But I believe, and probably not on the 3rd floor either. But on the first 2 floors, there could be any number of varieties coming here. I think that some areas, like places around the vault and certain key areas, would be reliable in terms of enemies. But there are some other areas, especially in terms of patrolling guards. And a lot of the smaller patrolling robots, I'm sure, have a randomized patrol pattern many times. So yeah. We are obviously not going to buy anything. We can't for Supreme. But there is a tip here that I'm going to buy just so I can read it, and then I'm going to reload. So we'll do that. But if you are ghosting and can buy things, well, you have 8 Mars arrows is actually quite a lot. And water arrows, most of the lights around the building are electrical, so they can't be doused with water arrows anyway. So we start with 3 rope arrows, which is plenty for ours. So I maybe water and moss would be good for ghost if you're looking to buy something. But someone wants to give us some advice for a fee, so we will take that and just read that real quick, and then we will restart again. So tip G, I assume Garrett. Tried me a creek at First City Bank and Trust come 2 years back. More than I was scoped out for, tell you that. Not my best of jobs. Had me a left little finger for that, for one. Trouble be, the place spends a full purse on the damn tile floors. Couldn't take a step back nor forth. Should I set an echo up to the roof? Had me a dram more a nerve. Might have gone slow feet enough and get by, or wait patient-like till the thugman be past. But no, had me go and raise a noise on that tile, and out they jump. No worry for you, mate, all your talents. But for me, well, get me a coin and prick your ear same wise, seems a fair trade. Zan. So the 2 things that we're taking from this is that there's a lot of tile inside, and there is access on the roof. So those are 2 very valuable pieces of information, except that the tile information we would like to know during the loadout screen so we could buy more moss arrows. But the roof entrance is interesting, so we'll take a look at that as well. Now I am going to load up a game, just like for eavesdropping. I've started a mission here. The reason is I wanted to make sure that the route I'm going to take is possible to take with the guard configuration. So that I know now that the route is feasible for us. I didn't want to end up having to change my route if the randomized patrols and cameras forced me to go a different route. So this is the first one I played, so I haven't manipulated anything here, but I just made a quick save right in the beginning so we can load up that and play from that point on. Now, being the masochist that you guys know I am when it comes to playing tough missions, it's not enough for me just to try to Supreme Ghost as much as I can here. I'm actually going to add a couple of extra things to my playthrough, 2 things specifically. And one of those is we can actually play this entire mission not picking a single pocket, because there's no loot, there's no purses on enemies' belts, and there are two types of keys in the mission, and one of those keys there are 7 copies of on enemies' belts, and all the other pickpockets are broadhead arrows, which we obviously don't need. So we can go through the entire mission without picking any pockets, so I'm going to do that. The second thing I'm going to add is that I am going to make sure that I visit every single room on the map, or every single location on the map, just so I can feel like I have, robbed the whole bank. There are obviously some rooms that are not going to contain anything to take, but I still want to feel like I have visited every room. And I am therefore going to take a trip through this mission that tries to cover the same territory as little as possible. So I'm going to try to sort of visit as many rooms as I can only once, because we have to make some back and forth trips here. But I'm going to try then to take a different route back and forth. So that's going to force my hand a little bit here. And I actually have printed out the maps that I'm showing you right now with a certain route that I'm taking to make sure that I don't miss anything. Because this is a very, very non-linear mission, which is good, but it means that it's very easy to get lost. And it's very easy to just skip by a room accidentally, especially if I want to map it all. So it's all mapped. It's just that once you visit an area, it turns blue. So I want to end up with all areas blue, basically, by the end of the mission. Which doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's just cool to say that you have definitely robbed the whole establishment. So there is an area outside here that we're going to have to visit a couple of areas of first. There's 3 areas outside that gets triggered, and there are 2 locations on the roof. So we're going to have to visit those first, because once we do everything inside, the instant you go outside again, you will end the mission. I will also, for sake of making it even more difficult, try to minimize the amount of locks that I pick. Now that brings me to one part of this mission that is the trickiest element. And that is the fact that I said that there were 2 types of keys. Well, one type of key there's 7 copies of. But that's the one that we actually don't need to pick up. The other key there's only 1 copy of, and that is on the 2nd floor in an office up here. It's a red key. Now that red key makes you able to unlock every door in the mission that is either pickable or can be unlocked with the other key, with the silver key. So that's why you only really need that key. All the silver keys are unnecessary as long as you have that 1 key. And that key is not on a belt. It's on a desk in an office right here. And that is beneficial for me because I don't like to pick pockets if I don't have to. Yes, you can drop back keys to their patrol route, but that is more invasive to me than taking a key that's just lying there on a desk and putting it back exactly where it was. You know, if a guard realizes that he dropped his key and then the same day the entire bank gets robbed, likely somebody took your key and put it back. So if I was able to put it back on his belt, that would be different, but we can't do that in the Dark Engine. So there are a total of 6 ways to get into the bank, and I'm going to show you all 6. 2 of those entrances do not require us to pick a lock. But one of those 2 has a guard right outside the entrance, right up here in the northeast. And he will hear the door open, so then we're really only left to 1 entrance. And that entrance you cannot take or use without New Mantle. So in Old Dark, that entrance won't work. So in Old Dark, if you want a Supreme Ghost, you are forced to pick a lock. So I always used to enter through a basement window here on the east side. And that's what I'm going to end up having to do for my segmented run because I play vanilla without New Mantle. But we are going to take a different entrance, one that actually we can reach now in New Dark, just to, you know, cut out that 1 pickpocket. No lockpick. Now, this is floor 1. We start out in the southwest outside here, and you can go around the entire outside perimeter. There is a wall on the east, so you can't go north-south here, but the rest of it is completely accessible, and all of the roof is accessible too, if you get up there. On the first floor, the map is cut off pretty much in such a fashion right here. This whole area to the southwest is pretty much inaccessible for two reasons. One, there are no less than 4 cameras in a very brightly lit lobby down here. So one of the first things we have to do is make sure that we turn off those cameras. And that button to turn them off is all the way up on the 3rd floor. So we cannot worry, we cannot bother going anywhere near the lobby right now. The other entrances you see here are either covered by a very, very well-guarded room here. There's no way we can get through that room. Or other doors that you need the red key to get through. And of course the red key is on the 2nd floor in this area. So that really forces us to indeed turn off the cameras in the lobby. Pretty much everything else in the map is accessible from the beginning. There's sort of a central area here with a great hall and sort of a fountain lobby region here. But this is the main entrance lobby. This is the main entrance in the south. There's a lot of offices around, and actually quite a lot of rooms where you can get up to the 2nd floor if you use a rope arrow, or sometimes you can even mantle directly up. And there are a few staircases here and here. This is down to the basement. It's another staircase up here, but that doesn't access the same areas as these do. There are also a couple of a little bit more sneakily placed access points between the multiple floors. I'm going to try to use as many of the staircases as I can. I'm going to try to show you all the different rooms and visit all the different ways of moving around. On the 2nd floor, you have a very similar layout. The meeting hall here, for example, spans all 3 floors, basically. Hall of Records, where we have to get to. We're going to get to very early on, actually. There are 3 things that we need to do before we get to the vault. And since that red key is in the same area here, I am going to do what I need to do to get to the vault right away, but not do anything that I would need the red key to do, of course, because we have to get to this area and get the red key. And those 3 things are: we have to get to the basement to lower a security pole outside the vault door. We need to go to the Hall of Records and find information on what deposit box the mechanists are using. I know what deposit box it is, because it's always the same, but I am going to go there first, just for sake of continuity here. There's no logical way that we would know that unless we find that readable. And it's an objective too, so why not? And we have to get to the 3rd floor to an office right here in order to shut off the lobby cameras. Those 3 things you have to do if you want to get into the vault. I haven't found any way around that. So that's the order of things, really. So I think that is it. So that was a lengthy description, but it's needed for such a complicated mission. So let us go ahead and get going here. So we are going to head west first. So if we head in here, we can check off. You see here that it lights up. So now we have visited that area. So there are 2 doors here. Those are not pickable, and they only respond to keys that you can find inside the bank. So this is not a viable entrance. Let's see. I'm also going to point out every possible pickpocket for you guys. Okay. I'm going to head down here. Go through this underground access. I'm not really sure why this is there, but it's a way that you can pass these guards here. So you want to take these 2 archers' arrows here and get the first 2 pickpockets. Then you can just go a little bit faster than I did, come out here, and then you can just grab them from the shade. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to show you guys something. There are 2 guards here. So we are now in the northern region. So we are right outside this area. So he should turn here.
What is that smell? It smells like old meat.
See here. Now I am on the porch.
I washed a few days ago.
Underneath this little awning here. But notice that the map still registers me as being outside. So this little area right here, oops, on the first floor, that little area here, you can never actually register to go to. It doesn't matter if you go through the door, it will only register the inside room. It will not register this little dome-shaped structure here. So I could understand that. I thought I had forgotten to go there in my test run, but there's no way to check that off. So if you want the whole map, that one will have to be left open. So will the lobby here on the second floor. There is no real second floor in the lobby, so that will remain that color as well. Usually they are sort of grayed out or dark brown if you can't get there, if there is no open space in those areas. So this door is pickable, so you can flash bomb these 2 guys and pick the door on, or lock on that door and get inside that way. That's okay. You can do that. Not for Supreme, but you can if you want to enter that way. Okay, so I am following these guys now in order to get this little area here on the far northeast checked off and show you that entrance as well. See, I think we can do this without getting spotted, actually. Here's the guard that I told you about.
What's that?
I didn't think that they would catch me there, but...
You get medals for awards now. I mean, you get to march around outside and the grass and the trees. Uniforms are better. They got real good boots and nice gold trim in the army.
Okay, if you're just a little bit faster, then they won't catch you. So now we get the count for that area, and this guard here is the one that prevents us from accessing. This is an open door.
Something there.
So that's the Supreme busts. We can't have that first alert. Over here is the wall that I talked about, so that's on the far eastern side. Let's see, is there any way I can... Yeah, if I was faster there, I probably actually could do that. Yeah, now I can do that. Let's see. I'm gonna head back and past these guys. here are the two other archers. There are two trios of guards. You can take them. They're linked to each other. You saw how that guard ran to get caught up to the other archer there.
What was that?
Oh, they turn around. Gotcha. Okay. Go in here and wait for them to pass. So there are 3 guards in the south, and they move up towards the western end here, and then the other 3 ones go on the northern side only. I don't think they come over this far. So I said there were 6 entrances. There are 7 if you count the one for that is only available on New Dark, which is the one I'm going to take. But originally there were 6, so it was made with 6 entrances in mind. So we're going to head up here. So if we head up to the northwestern section of the roof. So we are now on the west side. Now we are actually right above the 2 guards that I showed you behind the pillars. This is another pickable set of double doors that will take you to this room here west of the Great Hall. And any of these pickable doors can be relocked with the red key. So you can take those entrances for Supreme, no problem. Just make sure that you go back there and relock it with the red key once you get a hold of that. So we are going to actually go to the far eastern side so I can show you the last entrance on the roof. Let's see. Which is over here. So now we're in the eastern section of the roof. That is over here. That is also pickable, and it's also relockable with the red key. And that will take you to the meeting hall, to the southern end of the meeting hall. If that hadn't been pickable, if it had just been an open door, I probably would have taken that entrance, to be honest with you. It's just a cool way to enter through the roof. I'm noticing my frame rate dropping quite a bit here. Necro Age is a little bit heavier. Let's see, and it's also, obviously, you can see quite far here. Good. I think I showed you 4 entrances now, 2 on the north side and 2 on the roof. This is the front door, which is also pickable, and also relockable, I think. With the red key. This is the lobby.
I'll never be able to cross through here with all those security machines active.
So you can actually get, even though you don't get far, you can get credit for breaking into the bank this way. But you can obviously see how impossible it is to go through here. At least from this direction. So there's no way we can do that without turning off those. Those 4 cameras are all operated with one button or one switch. We're going to have to wait for the archers and guard to come by here again, and then we can head east this time. So those are the 3rd and 4th pickpocket. I'm going to try to keep track of them, because there's quite a few. There's 18. And it is possible to get all 18 if you're looking for that, even within Supreme rules. Besides the fact that unnecessary pickup, that rule will be busted here. Okay, here, save it here. That's where we're going to enter. So that is 6th entrance then. And this is getting you straight into the basement, and that is the 7th entrance. That's a pickable window that also is relockable with the red key. We're going to head up here. And we're finally going to be inside. Oh, that's nice timing. Here is an archer with 3 more arrows. That's the 5th pickpocket. So we now entered a room from this dome. The door was right here, so we're now in the southeast corner of this room right here. This archer you see has a patrol route that goes into the room that we're going to go into now. He goes up here and stations himself on the east side. Then he goes back and goes into a room with the camera down here and then turns around again. This is pretty good timing, actually. He will come there. We're going to time this camera over here and head in through that door. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to wait for that archer to come by. Because we are going to take one piece of loot over where he is. Almost forgot about that. That was one of the last things I changed by my route. So that I don't have to come back to this room.
Can't the guy nap around here?
Oh. Okay. Get up here. Then he can't, or the camera can't see us at this distance here.
Some people in this city are too rich for their own good. Lucky they have me to give them a hand.
I thought I could make that, but I can't, I guess. I can. Let's wait one more round then. Can't do that, okay. I want to get it on this round because I don't want that archer to come back. There we go.
What's that?
Oh man. Okay, well we should be able to do that still. My goodness, I can't stand these desks. Because you can't mantle the desks properly. This was not an area I anticipated really being that difficult. It's just that the timing of that archer is just unfortunate. I saved it there now, so it should be better. That camera cycle was not accurate. Sometimes when you save and reload, the camera actually resets, and that can be very dangerous. So I hope I'm not in big trouble here. I guess not. There, we need to head in here because there's an entrance to the basement. Good. Now we're a little bit safer. That is a pretty tough but early area. This is the basement window that I said was pickable. Let's make a real save. There's one guard in the basement. And here's a gold candlestick worth 50 total. No, worth 25. Total 75. Guard might be up there now, so we're not going to go that way. Warning, maintenance machines active in this area. So we're going to run into... So what's good about the cameras is that they can't hear you. And what's good about the small robots is that they can't see you unless you bump into them. Then they actually can see. Or unless you make noise. This direction. Here are 2 water arrows if you're interested. This valve here actually was operable in the original release, but I think T-Fix changes that. It never actually worked for anything. I think it was something that was supposed to do something, but was removed before the final release of the mission. So I'm just looking down to make sure I don't get those taps due to the frame rate. Keep out. Authorized personnel only beyond this point. So we are headed, we're going west here, far west. So we're actually, there's not a map for the basement, but we are heading underground now, way, way west, and we're actually right underneath the vault. In a little bit. Okay. So here, there's an iron beast there, and there's a turret right behind that panel in the wall. And if you step on a couple of pressure plates in the floor here, which is very difficult to see, then you will open and trigger that trap. So that's not allowed for Supreme. Okay, I thought it was one more in. It's the third row then. Fourth row. Here's the camera. That gate there you can use if you want to shut the camera off. I don't want to do that because that's a bust. We don't need to. Instead I just want to go in here. Cameras cannot see anything right underneath them, so you can use that to your advantage quite heavily. So now we are, you can see the vault door up here. We are right underneath the vault, and this is a mechanism.
What a weird contraption. Let's see what these controls do.
It's a mechanism that enables you to open the vault, basically, because it controls a security pole that is extended right up through the floor, and then covers the opening of the vault. So even if you wanted to open it, it'll be blocked by that pole. So we have to open it, and that we can do very simply by clicking bottom right, top left, top right, bottom left. What you want is all of these buttons to be depressed. So now we are lowering that pole. You see that coming down there. Now there's no way to raise that pole again. You can't reset that mechanism, but you can of course reset the buttons. So then you just want to press them in exactly the opposite order. And then close the panel. But it stays green and it stays unlocked. So there's no way to relock it. You don't have to relock it for Supreme. So we reset as much as we can here. What's interesting is you can actually open the vault from below. I was going to show you that, but I'm not going to go back in there now. But if you want to, you can mantle up on that big device and you can reach the vault door from through that grate and open it so that when you get there it's wide open. Nobody seems to care. So now all we have to do is head back, and we're going to exit the basement by a different route. Like I said, I want to try to backtrack as little as possible, and don't want to cover the same ground more than once if I can avoid it. There are some areas where we can't avoid that, especially on the third floor. These small robots here, they're deaf. No, they are blind until they hear you. And then they then they can't see you. So it's like they're turning on a mechanism to see only when they need to in order to save power, maybe. hear a guard here, so he's coming back from the basement. It's going upstairs now. Okay. Yeah, he is. Okay, and this footlocker's a flare, which obviously we don't need. Here's a gold plate, which we do need, worth 25, total 100. We're gonna have to wait for that guard to come back down, because he can't be up there when we ascend. So I know that I didn't visit every single room in the basement, but that's because there isn't a map of the basement. So I'm not going to bother then. I want to bother doing it on the top floors where I actually can see it on the map. So we are now going to come out here. That's the other entrance to the basement. And we are going to make a trip over here only to go back again, just so I can check off the Great Hall, but more importantly these two rooms here. There's nothing to pick up there, but I'm going to do it just for sake of being complete. So camera right up here. Great Hall. Okay. Let's see. I can time this. Over here is a moss arrow. There's a guard that comes out of that door there too, but we were pretty lucky. There are a lot of cameras that can see you through windows, stuff like that. Now we are in the room just inside. See how this domed shape area out here doesn't check off? It checks off on the second floor when you go inside for some weird reason. This area outside too checks off then. Nothing to pick up in here. So this is the guard room that I talked about. Was very difficult. But it's tough to get into this hallway from any other area than where I'm at now. So that's why I chose to take this route. Oh, that. Let's see, I think maybe we have to, we're going to go through that door straight ahead. And this guard should go into the door that we went into. There he is. Good timing. Through those windows there are cameras. Only one of them can see us, but I don't think they can see us all the way down here. He comes back again. All right. timing of those two guards is not very preferable for us. But I think maybe we're okay.
Who's noising?
Here. So we're now in this little room here, and we're going to head back and go upstairs now. Ooh, I shouldn't have gone this side. Time this camera. Close that door. I did. So we're now up on the second floor. We went up these stairs, and now we're going to head over to the Hall of Records, actually. There's a piece of loot there. We'll take that when we head back, I think. This can be a tricky camera right here. Oh yeah, he actually sees you in the doorway. So we're going to have to probably leave that door open. I don't think that is a problem. There. Take the screen vase. The meeting hall. These are the double doors on the roof that you can get in through, and this spans all 3 floors here. So over underneath here again, and then try to time this guy. There.
Now to find some useful information.
So this is the Hall of Records. Here we are completely safe. There's absolutely nothing in here besides the scroll where we can read the deposit box information, which is up here. Client, box number, Lord Signoli, 7. DM Gilver Exporting. Him we know Gilver from Shipping and Receiving. The Widow's Hospice, 9. Mechanist Secondary Finance Box, 10. Mechanist Storage Box, 11. That is our vital information. Sergeant Bander, 12. Lady Shemanov, 13. Isn't that a blacksmith family? And then Lady Selentura, right? Wasn't that the astrologer, I believe? 14 from Shipping and Receiving. That checked off finding out what box Mechanist stored the recording in. So this one we can drop back, and we should need to for Supreme right away. Even though it's an objective, it doesn't remove the objective if you drop it back. So let's see, I think we can go back out that door pretty Not easily, but we can. Good. $200. Our race was worth 50. See, I don't think we need to go down this way here. We've gotten checked off everything we need to on the east side. See, I don't think so because we... Oh, yeah. There's a window there. The robot that can see us, so we don't want to go anywhere near that, but we wanted to go into that area. This is a door. I think this is the only door of its kind. It's a door that cannot be... no, it's not the only door, but it's the only door on an otherwise pretty accessible floor that only responds to the red key and cannot be lockpicked. But it does respond to the red key. Okay, in this room is another office. There's a stack of silver coins. And there's a journal over here. Parcel. I hear there's a coppermonger on Center Street who's offering good prices for halfpence minted more than 20 years ago. Something about luck charms. Guess the luck of the city's been pretty bad these past couple of decades. What do you think? The pair of us go through the halfpenny stores after hours tonight? Will. You should not see us here. Coming up on a pretty difficult area here. Oh. I didn't know he came into this cubicle. Okay.
Friend, I have task at hand. 'Tis my assignment to give to thee a warning. Please be warned before thou dost travel. I have heard. How can I
Here
help
you have two robots that are talking to each other
Knowest thou
and two
I
cameras.
have found dangerous conditions. A malfunction.
Don't even think about going in there.
'Tis my assignment to return to repairs needed. I do not know. Where is a malfunction?
This is one of the guards that has a
Down below this place.
silver key. That's the fourth pickpocket. No, sixth pickpocket.
Not as much dangerous conditions.
That robot has a hard time getting through
Farewell.
into those cubicles.
I do not know. Be it true that thou dost travel from this place? Yes, friend, I have.
I remember that, so I guess I did know that the robot came in there.
'Tis my assignment to give to thee a warning. Please be. No, no,
Let's make a real save here, because this is quite tough coming up.
I do not know. I do not know. Be it true that thou dost travel from this place? I will tear thy foes into pieces. I will.
So let me actually show you guys the route that we're going to take now. I haven't really been too specific about that. This guard that we are following, which is good, is going down here. He's going through a door that leads into a marbled hallway with two watchers. There's a piece of loot there that we need, and we need to head out through this door to the east. The guard will move through this door and be out of the way, so he's not an issue. I think actually he makes me go into this room for a little bit. We are now going to go east then, and we're going to cover most of the eastern part of the second floor. There are two ways to get to the third floor. The main, most commonly used way is the staircases in this central room, You can go up through the ramp in the room that I looked into with the 2 watchers and the 2 talking robots, but that is impossible to do for Supreme. There's no way. You can turn off a light on the northern wall here, and I guess maybe you can get up there for Ghost, perhaps, but that's difficult. So we're going to go up the normal way, so to speak. Then we're going to cover the 3rd floor, and we're going to have to be on the 3rd floor twice during this mission. We're going to drop down around here, and we are going to then be able to cross the lobby because we will have turned off the cameras. And then we're going to head for the vault area in the offices in the west and get the red key. And after that, we'll discuss where we're going to go next. But then we have half of floor 2 left to cover and all of floor 1, basically. We haven't done much there. Okay, I thought I left that door open, but I didn't.
I do not know. Is it true that air does travel from this place?
So there, the camera saw me through the window. I thought I was clear, but...
I do not know. Is it true that air does travel from this place? I overshoot. Where did
Good. It's a pretty difficult piece of loot to take. The good thing is that those 2 cameras do not spin with the same speed. So we can actually use that to our advantage. I think maybe we can go for it now, once that other one spins back.
to be a warning? Please be warned before thou dost travel. I have heard. How can I help you?
Good. So we took the blue gem there. No, the blue base was 50, 255.
Malfunction. 'Tis my assignment to return to repairs needed. I do not know. Where is
We're going to have to head into this room now and at least get the count for that room.
malfunction? Down below this place.
There, I think so.
Task at hand.
There's the light switch that I talked about, and there's the alternate way up to the 3rd floor. This door is usually open for me. I'm not sure why that is. It's open now too, obviously. I didn't open it.
I do not know. Is it true that thou dost travel from this place?
So there is a big iron beast coming up in here. So they see you when they bump into you, and it's a little bit difficult to know exactly where they are.
Travel from this place? Yes, friend, I have task at hand. 'Tis my assignment to give to thee a warning. Please be warned.
We have to move across this area on the south side because on the floor below there is a watcher on the north side of the wall staring south. So if we move too close to the window on this side, we will get spotted. But there seems to be a smaller robot coming here.
I have heard. How can I help you?
Maybe he isn't coming now. And that robot there has to be
I do not know. Is it true that thou dost travel from this place? Yes, friend.
in that direction. And there's an archer too that comes through here. Very difficult area this. Okay, so he saw me when he was stationary. Man.
A child of flesh is loathsome and ill-tempered, but the lad prepares his boys a child of metal, is constant and true. I am that child. I have not determined.
So again, he gives... And that was just not quick enough. So he sees me when I go down from the desk there. That's the...
I give thanks for my eyes. They can seek out evil and keep me from harm's way. I give thanks to Paris, for it is by his will alone that I see.
There. I didn't get an alert there. So we need to get credit for this room. There's a little closet behind me. Took 2 stacks of silver coins there. With 24, total 279. And here's another archer with arrows. Well, not another one, but it's the one that we saw earlier. I don't know if we probably have to wait for the next cycle to be quicker there, because I couldn't go right behind the archer, which is what I wanted to. That archer was the 7th pickpocket. Alright, so now we're in a small hallway. Here we're going to have to do something, and there's a reason for it. There's a conversation on the floor below, in a little open mini foyer right here. Or I guess it's a tiled hallway, really. And once that conversation is done, one of them will remain standing, and the other one will start patrolling actually around here, through the meeting hall. And we don't want him to patrol there while we are in the meeting hall, so we're actually going to go down to the meeting hall from above and then up again to trigger that conversation afterwards. So it's when you enter this room that it triggers. So we were over there earlier.
You ever wonder, looking at all this?
Okay, so now that conversation actually does start. I didn't really want that to start. I didn't think that it started once we dropped down to the meeting hall there. Maybe we can deal with it regardless. So let's start that conversation then. We can hear it from up here anyway.
You ever wonder, looking at all this?
Wonder what?
Well, where all the money?
We gotta wait for that robot to...
You ever wonder, looking at all this?
Wonder what?
Well, where all the money for the fancy marble and the carvings and the art comes from?
From all the people who give the bank their money.
No. If the bank spends it on fancy stuff, what if they want it back?
Well, maybe some of them die first and never ask for it back.
Well, could be. I keep my gold home locked up myself. Safer that way.
Okay, so this room here is very, very dangerous because of that robot, but I don't think I got caught there. I couldn't hear any alert, at least, and if you guys did, let me know. Hopefully you didn't. But it's mostly because he can see us as clear as day. But we can't hear him very well. Or it very well. In here, by the way, is a turret. And that will trigger from a pressure plate. You can see one in the middle of the walkway there. And there's actually pressure plates outside that doorway down below as well. That archer comes back. We're going to head downstairs now and take the loot in the meeting hall. It's just a little bit easier that way. But now, Benny from that conversation is downstairs occasionally. The reason why we want to go downstairs is because we want the 2 goblets in here. There's also a moss arrow there on the same shelf. I think that is Benny coming here. Follow him. So I just want to see that I got the count for that room. Then I got the count for this room on floor 1 as well. And that is actually a pretty difficult room to get into, because you have the pressure plates right out of this doorway, and you have one of the guards in that conversation will see us if we go in through this doorway. So the only way I've found reliably to get a count for that room is to drop down from above. So a little bit finicky, but it works. Watcher in this room as well here. That can be a little bit difficult to get around. Easiest probably to do this. Be faster here. He doesn't. It doesn't see you all the way across this hallway, so it shouldn't be that difficult. There we go. That plaque says meeting hall. Okay, we're gonna wait for that archer to come by again, waiting for another cycle of his. All clerks, this is not a bakery. We do not throw in an extra coin for every 12. Individual logbooks will be audited weekly. So we should be safe here. 2 stacks of copper coins and 4 coin pairs here. Coin pairs are worth 2 each, so 377. I don't think it can see us this far south. See, this room I don't think anybody comes into. There is conversation that started here. Okay. We're going to have to... See, I'm going to have to rush out and listen to that then.
Hey, who's there?
You oaf! You scared me nearly half to death.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Marin. I didn't know you were staying late tonight.
Of course I am, you imbecile! How else are the Rothschild papers to be finished? Magic spells?
Well, sir, they don't tell us the hours of the bankers who pay for the spare offices.
Oh, really? That's very fascinating. Please, tell me more particulars about guard duties.
Well, do you know about guard changing procedures?
Just get out of my office.
So we want to block the door there. Because I want to get in, get the count for this room, without having to pick that door open. I think you can use the... you can use the red key on this door. So that archer that came out has another set of broadheads and a silver key. And here's Rothschild with yet another silver key. So those were pickpockets 8, 9, and 10 there. This camera here you can turn off, but it only looks straight out the window there. That archer's on his way back. Here's the silver coin stack and a journal. I have often wondered these past days why Master Banker Tyler has been in such a disposition. Frequently he comes in late or not at all, and his former liveliness is gone. For weeks now he has seemed to droop and mope, his spirits quite downcast. Though he is past the prime of his life, not so his career. In time he could rise to a new pinnacle of wealth and power. At first I thought he was forlorn that the bank did not ride the financial winds of change in the city as best it might. That change marks an opportunity for wealth that we have missed. I thought perhaps Master Tyler erroneously took on a burden for being neglectful. But now I fear that his situation is worse, that misfortune has befallen him or his family. So here is a safe that we have to pick. Is this the first safe, maybe? I think there are 9 safes in the whole mission, and we have to pick 7 of them. So those are not responding to any key whatsoever. And here's a purse worth 75. Total 464. Now I don't know where that archer is, so...
What's that?
Now I do. So now we are... We've moved down here. This is Rothschild's office. And we have moved east, and now we are just on the southern end of the little room where that camera was. Candlestick. Here's a gold goblet, and I wanted to get the count for that little room with the camera there as well. Candlestick worth 50, goblet worth 25. Okay. Now there are 2 secrets in this mission, and we can get the count for both of them pretty easily. Here's one. And all you need to do to get count for this whole room, which is actually on the 3rd floor, it counts it as that, is just step through the doorway. So it's up here. But there's nothing to read or nothing to do or take in there at all. Secret opened up in here. Moss arrow, speed potion, healing potion. We're not going to take that. And we're actually going to head back up here. So this is one area where I have to go through a room twice. And we want to make sure that we stay concealed here. There. Let's wait for him to go west again. Now we're going to come up on a pretty difficult portion. We're going to go through that door and then try to make our way upstairs. This is pretty good timing here. Here's another purple vase. Total 564. Let's make a real save here. See where people are found here. Okay, he's down there. Alright. This guy goes from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor just on the stairs. And then there's another guard downstairs that comes just then, so we have to just wait them out. I can imagine that if you haven't played this mission, I don't think it's easy to get a grasp over the layout, even though I'm referring to the map a lot. It's not very intuitive, so it's a little bit complicated at first. Hope that my explanations are making it a little bit easier to follow. But now our goal just is getting to the 3rd floor. I think the guard is on his way down. He should be coming out from the right now. Yeah. He did see me. That we can't do.
Is someone there?
He hears that drop onto the wood sometimes.
Who's noise?
Not always, though, so I'm going to try to get him when he can't.
Who's noise?
Can we make that jump? we could. That was a pretty crazy jump. I haven't tried that before. Okay, so we did not get... Last time I did this, I landed on... Let's see. Yeah, when you jump across here, and then I ended up going upstairs right away, you get the count for this room at the bottom here. But we are going to end up going through that room in the north here a little bit later, so we're fine. So, I did close the door.
Damn it! How'd you get in here?
I did. I just wanted to make sure. There's an archer here, as you obviously saw. And you can get his arrows from the dark here. You don't actually have to see him. But you can also just lean through and take them like that. You cannot come in from behind him. He'll hear that. I gotta be...
Hello? Anyone there?
Okay, I should be able to do this, shouldn't I?
Hello?
Maybe I'm gonna have to wait here. Because
I heard that.
that robot is very untimely.
I do not know. Creation.
What was...
Let's see.
All right.
If we block the door when that robot tries to close it.
Is that you?
No, this won't work.
What's going on?
Am I safe here? I'm not sure.
Is that you?
Now there's a guard potentially in this room too. I think he's on his way. So we are now on the third floor in this room right here. This door in the upper or northwest area we're not going to take because it's pickable. You can use the red key on it, and I rather want to do that. And we're going to have to get up here a second time anyway, so I'm going to skip that door for now. This card has another silver key, by the way. Tough to get through this room, but we might be able to do it now. The camera in the distance there can't see us at this. Alright, we're gonna have to wait for this guard too. So we took a jar and wasn't it a goblet in this room, and we followed the guard up north, and then we headed east, past the 2 cameras that are up there. There's a 3rd one in this room. So I'm going to flip lever here to the 2nd and last secret in this mission, just because it's easier to do that now and not have to backtrack to do that later. Obvious pressure plates on the side here. I think that structure on the wall opens up, start shooting at us, something like that. That takes you out to the door right behind the archer in the main staircase room. Gold vase, worth 75, total 704. Now we're right above Rothschild's office. Down below. From the roof you can look in here. Gotta hide here. Wait for him. Take a gold goblet here. And a plate. Worth 15 and 10, respectively. This is the security office. So now we are headed into the area where we can turn off the lobby cameras. This we have to pick. It responds to a red key, so we can lock it later. But there's no way we can have the red key in our possession at this point. So we got to remember to lock these. Okay, a couple of things to read in here. Brother Ortham of the Mechanists, Angel Watch Dayport. Captain Blauf, First City Bank and Trust Guard, 100 Gentry Boulevard, North Quarter. Captain Blauf, fact. The security of thy bank is double, nay, tenfold what it was but a few months ago, and thou art paying fewer human guards for their fallible efforts. Thou owest this fact to us, for we of the Mechanist Order do believe in generosity. Evermore, even more when it opens the eyes of commoners to the values of our goodly innovations, though the situation is not one of mutual benefit. Therefore it didst pain me greatly to read that thou believest the level of bank security at present is to be enough. The plan I outlined to thee most assuredly called for more security machines, and for greater care and deployment than thou hast currently there. We of the Mechanist Order shall feel sufficiently confident in the safety of our valuables only when no humans be employed by the bank for this purpose. In particular, thou dost continue to protest the proposed changes to the vault door, so I shall take now the time to give thee a most full explanation of why it must be replicated. As previously stated, thy current time lock is a security risk, because it is external to the vault. Whence it was installed, the Hammerites chose to compromise security in this way, for it would be impossible to ever open the vault again in the event that the time lock experienced some failure. However, Mechanist engineering far exceeds that of the Hammers, and thusly our time lock hatch hath many redundant timing mechanisms, any of which can complete to bring about the opening of thy vault door. If it's too complex for thee, thou simply need to understand this. Currently, it is possible to manipulate the time lock to cause the vault to open ahead of schedule. The new vault lock will not be so grievously flawed, and there will be no chance of critical mechanical failure. Within a month, we shall send a team of engineers to thy bank for to upgrade the time lock and inspect thy security placement. I expect there shall be no further issues. Thy patrons and managers shall no doubt be pleased at the increase in security. Sincerely, Brother Ortham. So there is actually a time lock on the vault security, where if you play for 8 hours, it'll open on its own, automatically. Which means, I believe, the security pole in the basement, I haven't ever actually tried that, but I've read online that you can. I've half a mind to plead with Captain Blauf to ignore his managers and give that damn Brother Ortham what he's got coming. Every time they come from a meeting, Blauf seems like a kettle about to boil over, but he follows his orders and treats Ortham with respect. When Ortham was in here last week, he was going on and on about this metal guards and faces, where to put them properly and such, how we were showing such poor judgment, and Captain Blauf just listened and nodded. In the 6 years that I've worked here, not one security breach has occurred. Poor judgment indeed. And here, lobby camera control off. That is a supreme bust, by the way. So that is inevitable, 1 out of 2. Let's see. We're coming up on a very difficult move here.
Source, I do not know.
He heard me. Let's save it there, and let's see. We're going to have to drop down now without getting caught. See if we can do this. There we go. That didn't take too long. So that is a difficult move to make. I don't know if it can be made in Old Ark without New Mantle. So for my segmented run, I might have to find a different way to get down. But that's a nice way to sort of circumvent going through the whole second floor again. So now we are on, no, third floor. So now we are on the second floor and we are headed, let's see. No, we're not going to head this way. We're going to head the other way, actually. He saw me above. Okay. See, I think that archer's going to come out through this door. I don't think he'll see us. Okay, in here there are no cameras. Green vase. Worth 50, total 779. So we are now going to head down into the lobby. I don't like that. I was meant to... do that. Let's see. Can we get down there? Should have the rope arrow stick out a little bit more than that. Let's see. There we go. Oof. Nobody heard us. See, there's a lot of guards that could potentially see us, but they're so far away that... There's a guard up here too now. Very risky this. This is the only way for Supremer to get in here. Phew. Awesome. Then we can move on finally. So now we are in the general vault area. This is what I call the vault area here on the west. Gold vase worth 100. No, 75. Total 854. This is a pickable safe, but that we don't need to pick because it only has water arrows. Not plural, one water arrow. See, back here we're safe behind this pillar. 3 coin pairs. Total 866. There's another broadhead archer that also carries a key. Oh, and then he saw us. That safe is also pickable, and it has 2 moss arrows. See this archer that comes through here, its 2 pickpockets would make number 13 and 14, I think.
is that smell? It smells like old meat. What the? That can't be meat.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't because of that robot. He would have heard me.
Thy words. O Father, great Paris, thou art the ruler of my will, command me.
Okay, we're gonna have to wait another cycle then for him. If it hadn't been for that robot, I could have gone right after that archer left, but we need to go pretty much right away, otherwise we can't. We can't dodge him. Those small robots, I think, can have patrols that go pretty much all over the whole bank. There are probably limits. He should be coming right now. He goes upstairs for a little while. If you take his key, he is going to end up trying to find a different route through the door upstairs that he has to unlock. So then you might see him elsewhere. Pair of coins on the floor here.
What's there?
Hey!
Okay. Need to dodge him though before he comes up here. We should be able to do that. There we go. That coin pair was only worth 2, so 868. There's a guard and archer on that side too. This is the second door that we have to pick open. We are now back on the second floor and we are moving west into this office here. There are robots here, and they stop in that tiled hallway, and then they keep moving. I'll show you their route. They stop here, and normally they are pretty far apart, but now they're close together. That's good for us. And they go down, and they make it like a clockwise loop around this area. And they can see us through the window, so we gotta monitor them. Yeah, they're like not even 10 seconds apart. That's pretty good. Don't step on these, that'll turn on the light in this room. 2 gold vases here. They are worth 75 each, total 1018. Stack of gold coins worth 25, and then there is the red key. So that is going to be crucial for us. So there's where the archer comes. We're going to have to wait for him. There. We are going to have to come back here to replace the key, of course. But that we will do much, much later.
Hello?
Maybe if we go a little bit faster here, actually, we can do this. So there, he saw me, or it saw me. Why can't I mantle there? I'm not sure what's going on here, really. I don't know why I can't mantle. I just mantled there several times. We gotta be careful not to be spotted by those guards down there. There are 2.
Blessed are those who have boilers, for they carry with them the purifying flame, and were made in the builder's own image.
We're gonna listen to a conversation now.
Night shift again, Amart. You piss off the master banker or what?
Nah, I'd rather the night
Blessed
watch.
are the forged ones,
It's quiet,
for they know
and
no
I don't
fear
have to
of
bow
fuel
and
by
straight to the
heresy.
customers. Let me carry your heavy, heavy gold for you, lady fat bottom.
Here, let me take some of that nasty, heavy stuff off your hands, Lieutenant Swink.
Yeah, and see the bosses aren't around to listen to us talking at night either.
Okay, so that archer will start patrolling
I give thanks to
any
my
second now,
arms.
hopefully.
With them, I make the world best retreat. If there's
Yeah.
building,
He has
the work that I
broadhead
do
arrows,
for thee.
so that should be the 15th pickpocket. And that actually introduces my ghost challenge for this mission, which is to get that archer's pickpockets for Supreme. Or pickpocket, there's only one, he doesn't have a key. Get his arrows for Supreme. In this room here, that's very difficult to do, but there is a way to do it. So go ahead and show me how to do that.
I am thy
Here's a guard,
servant, Paris. Command me, and I will obey.
and there is an iron beast right below us. We came out from that door on the first floor earlier. So we moved around the dome up above here and into the guard room just to get the count for that on the second floor. And now we're going to hit the vault.
I give thanks to my arms. With them, I make the world best retreat. If there's building, behold the work that I do for thee.
Here's a speed potion, by the way. I didn't know if that was the first or the second robot, but it was the first. Speed potion over there, if you need it. So here is the vault. That archer we saw earlier does come through the end of the room there. Let's take this purple mace. Total 1068. This door is pickable, but it also responds to the red key. And this shuts off that camera, which is absolutely no way we can avoid that. So that's our second Supreme bust.
Now I know I'm a master thief, waltzing right into a bank vault. Time to find the recording.
That's probably my favorite line that Garrett has in any of the games that I've played. Now I know I'm a master thief. So we remember the deposit box number was 11, right? 2 cameras in here, one on the first and second floor. We need to go all the way up to the 3rd floor. Let's see. There. We don't have to worry about making noise in here because they can't hear us. There. Roll the elevator down. That top camera saw me. Don't think he sees me here. Got caught on the control mechanism for the elevator. Yeah, I can't do that. Let's see. I don't know if it'll be easier to go that way. Now we are safe. There we go. This can be a little bit difficult to highlight sometimes, but here it's pretty easy. Mechanist recording. Let's play it.
You need subjects for your servant project, and I can supply them. Vagabonds, street scum, prostitutes, those who will not be missed by anyone of consequence.
There we go. That checks off. Steal the recording from the vault. Excellent. Now we just have to make it out of here. Boss's box is closed or locked. I don't know if they heard that. That was not a nice sound to make. I think that there's a certain distance for the cameras. Okay, and we can't forget to... So we can't raise the security pole again. We can't turn on the camera. Okay, that warrants a real save. So we're now headed south, and we are going to need to steal some pieces of loot in the dome here, underneath where those two robots are patrolling. And this is where it is a little bit difficult. If you take the silver key from that archer that is at the end there, because he will actually come over here then and go up to the second floor in order to get to the end of his patrol route. You know, they have certain markers on the routes in Drawmed. Here you have the swordsman that was involved in that conversation, and he has another key. That is the 16th pickpocket. And that can also be a little bit difficult to get. There you saw the archer up there. We're not going to take it, but I want to get the count for the guard room on the first floor. There. Now we have to head in here.
Hello?
And he randomly pivots, so we just have to make sure that he is turned beneficially for us. I don't think the robots can see us from above if we creep crawl. And then you also have the archer that can come in and station himself for a little bit behind that guard.
What's that?
And of course the archer came right there. Okay, we're just gonna have to wait him out then. Let's see. We have visited all the areas that we need to visit at this time, so we're good. I thought I was dark there, I'm sorry. Come on, buddy.
Hello?
He shouldn't need to turn around that quickly. We just have to do this until... there. Luckily there's a sort of a rim of wood here. There are pieces of loot up on these desks. Goblet and gold goblet. Total 1108. And most of this parlor here, I guess this is a parlor. Ballroom is dark, so that's good. Vase, and there's a slow fall potion. And a purple vase worth 25, total 1233.
Hello? Hello?
These are annoying scenarios because you have to move through a brightly lit area, and it's just a matter of luck, essentially. It seems like he is set out to turn, so we're gonna have to wait. And of course now he didn't turn.
Hello?
I want to do it on this cycle because that archer is headed over here. Okay. The game won't let me. I think he turned right as I saved there, I believe. Yeah.
Blessed are those who have boilers, for they carry with them the purifying flame, and were made in the builder's own image.
There we go. There's a camera there, you can see that as well. If it hadn't been for that camera, we might actually be able to do this mission without turning off the lobby cameras, because you could go through that guard room, but it's very difficult still. I'm going to go into this room to get the count for that. That's by the two entrances that we couldn't enter in the beginning because you need the red key to go out of there. Let's see. I'm going to need to head upstairs now.
Who's there?
Oh, there he is. Okay, well that's pretty good timing for us. I didn't know where he was.
There's some. I know what's going on.
Let's wait for him to pass. Check again. Now we have entered a room we haven't been in before. We've visited all the areas we need to on the first floor. Okay. Is an archer here. It's the 17th pickpocket. He has 3 broadheads. And he goes into an armory of sorts in here. So that's staring to the office with the red key. So let's see if we actually can move through this room. On these shelves here are 3 mines and 12 broadhead arrows.
Is someone there?
So he can see you through the crates. I thought he was stationed there longer, much longer, to be honest with you. Yeah, there are 3 mines and 12 broadhead arrows on those shelves, and then on a table right where he went up the stairs is a healing potion. We're going to have to go over to where he went up. We should be safe here. There's the healing potion. I don't think anyone can hear us here. There is the archer that can come in the distance here too. similar method as we used on the other side to get down here. There we go. You can't take the arrow from the ground, but I have to take it far enough down not to make noise when I drop. Okay. So we're now heading through the same doorway as we did, but now we're going to head north. So we're now back on the first floor and we're headed north, and we're going to visit this area and then go into some of the main offices on the right by the lobby. Last time I played, this robot was stuck in the fountain. He seems to have some issues with his patrol route now too. Take that base. There's a patroller above us, I think. We need to go over here to get the count for this area. This only takes us north of the Great Hall, where there is a patroller. So I don't know where that robot is supposed to patrol, but it seems like he has an affinity to the fountain here. Okay. Difficult area this. Coming up. In here there is an Iron Beast that cycles between this office and the office to the north, which is there. And there is a swordsman with a little bit of longer patrol route that comes through the door that we see at the end. I'm going to wait for the Iron Beast to come in and then turn around and go back out. There are quite a few things to pick up in this area. We gotta remember to lock this door with the red key. This door is pickable, by the way. I'm going to make a real save here. But I don't want to pick it since I have a red key. And you're going to have to relock it anyway. So we're first going to head in here. Okay, the two archers that are up on the little balconies in the lobby can sometimes hear you when you take those loot pieces, but I don't think anybody did. So those were 9 stacks of copper coins, worth 45, total 1328. 2 more stacks here, 1338, and then a readable. All clerks, please refrain from addressing clients by name. Some clients have expressed nervousness that they are known personally, that the details of their finances are available to someone who would recognize them on the street. We must make a point of deliberate impersonality in all our dealings with clients. Okay. There are 4 safes in here. They're all pickable. This is the only one that doesn't have loot. I think it has a healing potion, so you don't need to pick that one, obviously, but the other 3 safes we are going to pick. and we need to do that in cycles here. And I am hoping that the guard that I said was going to come through that door is not stuck somewhere. That would be very bad for us. We would probably be able to work around it, though. Okay, good. He is not. He has another silver key, so that is the 18th pickpocket. See, I don't think I can pick that. Maybe I can get started on it. So those three, all the safes that we have to pick is not relockable in any way. Not with either of the keys that exist. And that makes sense. It makes sense that the person who owns the valuables in the safe has the key, but nobody else. Here's a stack of gold coins. See if we can... So it's very nice that there is a closed door between these two rooms, otherwise dodging this beast here would be difficult.
Paris is the mouthpiece of the builder. His word is truth. His voice is blessed song.
This one should have a purse, I believe. Should have 1563. Yep. Purse was worth 150. Whoa.
Just get away with pushing me around. I'll show them someday.
Oh. I tapped there on the ground. Okay, well I don't think we can do that then. Maybe we can go over and pick it some more. There. So the silver coin stack in this safe I think is 75 and the one over there is 25.
Mouthpiece of the builder. His word is truth. His voice is blessed song.
Just wanted to make sure all of them were locked. Or closed. Rather, not locked. Okay, good. So now we have moved east into this little hallway. We are now going to head south and loot this room here just east of the lobby. I'm going to make frequent real saves here because there are guards that are very tight in patrols that can get stuck here. This is tough here. Just real save, so I'm going to quick save. Watch this one. There's a camera here.
Something there.
Okay.
Come out now, whoever you are.
1667 is how many much we should have here. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit quicker and then get into safety for that archer. I'm not sure if that can be done. $1667, that's correct. So I can pop my head up here and look. 1667. This is tough, especially since I'm coming from this area now, from this region rather. Oh, it's easier if I can see the coins while. Oh, not sure if I can do this.
Hello?
No, I don't think I can do this. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait for that archer to come in and leave again.
I've had enough of
Yeah. Okay, what I'm going to have to do here... I thought I was safe there, but I guess I'm not. I'm going to have to actually jump in behind the counter, I think. Because I don't think the archer can see us back there. Yeah, that's right there. Three more pieces. Okay, that I can do. $1667. That's as much as we should have. Tough area, this. Now we are back where we entered the bank through. Okay, let me just check here. I actually have printed out the maps from this mission to see where I'm going to go. Camera can't see us from here. Can head into this office now. And this is one of those offices that many people might not know is actually unlockable with the red key. It can be picked open, and it can be relocked with the red key or the silver key. Either of those. No, it actually can't. That's the tricky thing. It cannot be relocked with the silver key. There are 2 offices here that have that situation. So you have to come back here with the red key for Supreme in order to not bust. Now, when I ghosted this mission 10 years ago, I don't think I knew that these 2 offices responded to the red key. So I think I left those unlocked because I had to pick them open. So that technically was a bust on my end. 2 stacks of silver coins. Total 1691, and then we have to pick this safe open. Should be a stack of gold coins in there, I think. Yeah. Total 1716. And then there are 2 readables. Let's read this one first. Devel, you are quite shrewd, my good colleague. One item your scheme did not cover. Which of us shall replace Morrow as master banker? For this I have an intriguing answer, one that guarantees an increase in pay for us both. We make a pact now that no matter which of us is selected as master banker by the plan you outlined, we combine our mutual salaries after the promotion, and each gets an equal share. By my calculations, this will leave us both with over twice what we are now earning. What say you, sir? Flemian. So it's weird because both of these are addressed to Devel, and they are both from Flemian. So I'm not really sure if they are 2 messages to the same person or just one that he thought about writing but didn't actually end up giving. I'm not sure. Devel, I'm sure you heard the news that Tyler's physician diagnosed his ailment as fatal, predicting not more than 3 months of life remaining. The question in both of our minds is surely the same. Who shall replace him as master banker? And perhaps you have come to the same conclusion, that his nephew Morrow will have unfair precedent over us for that position. For the better of First City Bank and Trust, and our own wallets, I suggest that we somehow eliminate Morrow as competition. Then between the 2 of us, may the best banker be selected. Perhaps we can slander his good name in some way. What are your thoughts, Flemian? So maybe he sent this first, then he got a response. There are a couple of responses that we're going to read a little bit later, and then the other readable is his latest reply. So there seems to be a lot of dissension within the workers in the bank. There's somebody who is not feeling too well. We read something about that, Master Banker Tyler. So he is now terminally ill, so there's somebody who's going to replace him, and who is that? Well, Morrow seems to be the family heir of that position, but it doesn't seem like others are really in favor of that. A little intrigue in a bank is never to fault, right? That's always interesting. So now we come up where the 2 guards had their conversation earlier. So this is the room up to the north. And we went down from above and looted the meeting hall, so we don't need to go in there. We do need to visit and get count for this room right here. And there's a guard that's going to come out of that door as well. And we need to go in there to visit that hall. And then this is the other office that responds to the red key. Here there's just a bunch of copper coin stacks. I think there is a total of 19 in here. Total 1811. And then we are going to need to grab the purse all the way in here. That is worth 25, total 1836. There is a crate in here. I'm sure that it was meant for you to use that. But I'm not going to do that. Good timing. So now we're going to go back, visit these two rooms, and go through here and cover the rooms that we have left to do in this area. Then we are done with this floor. Lock that door, good. So here I can walk, you see, because the frame rate is higher, I can walk straight here without tapping so much. So this is south of the area with the traps on the floor. Very difficult to see, but there are 2 or 3 pressure plates here that will trigger that turret, and the guard can see us go through that doorway. So the only way to really get a count for this room is if you go down from above. Or not the only way, but the easiest way. Very bad timing. We're going to need to go into that room there. It's another guard with the silver key. Oh, that's actually one of the same ones we noticed earlier, I think. I think that's the one.
I should have joined the army. Yeah, you get medals for
Yeah,
awards.
that's the one that actually came into the
Get to march
main
around
lobby.
outside and the grass and the trees. Uniforms are. There you go.
Locked on this safe. Take a purse. Total 1911, and then we're going to have to get the count for this room. This is a meeting room. Right here? No, right here. Nothing in this room besides a big table and a camera, and there's a few patrollers that go through this room. Okay. Another real save here. So now we've covered these 2 rooms. We're now going to have to head down south and take the loot from this room just north of the lobby office. This is where the Iron Beast goes back and forth. So that can be a little bit tough, but there is a place to hide in there, I think. Get the count for this room.
Police, I have noticed something.
So So we're gonna have to wait for that Iron Beast to be in the other room. And there are actually a robot that comes into this closet, but he can't see us. So... There's another guard too in this area, but that is not the same one we saw earlier. He doesn't have a key. We can actually hide in here. There are 14 pieces of loot in here. 6 stacks of copper coins, 2 gold coin stacks and 2 silver coin stacks, and 4 pairs of coins. Let's see, 14. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2023.
Blessed are the forged ones, for they know no fear and are fueled by Paris.
I don't know if the coast is clear.
Into trouble and confusion. We are thankful for his wisdom.
It is not clear because we have to go into that hallway. So that is not good.
Blessed are the will. I have.
I think maybe we can. We don't want to stay in this room because we have no control over what's going on.
From the foundry mother and said, Thou art the child of my endeavors. Follow me, and thou shalt inherit the earth. I worship thee, O Paris. I will be.
You're gonna head up here. It's another move that I don't know if it's possible to do in Old Dark. But it's possible to do in New Dark. Yeah, he's just muttering to himself. So we now are nowhere, but we went up through a grate in the ceiling here, and I want to kind of to use this access point. It's the only one of its kind in the entire mission. Have to go a little bit slow here because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if others can hear me. At least I can hear if they hear me pretty easily. I'm not sure if you guys can see anything, but it's very dark on my end. So you guys can see that we're headed west. So we are going west, actually. That would be underneath, I guess, maybe an area here in the wall of the Great Hall, and then we're going to come out in this room. Yeah. Here's another grate. So now we're up on the second floor in this area, and the whole first floor should be covered. Yes. We do need to go back to the first floor to turn the red key. We can take a piece of loot here. A jar worth, or a vase worth 25, total 20, 48. Okay, let's real save it. So now we're back over the top floor of the guard room. So we don't have that much left now, actually. We're gonna primarily head up to the third floor and cover a few of the rooms, turn back on the lobby cameras, and then drop back down and do a couple of areas here, and then leave. So up here we are good to go. We already checked off this room on the map, but I need to get through here. I think no, it's not here. This is back to that hallway on the west side of it. Don't need to go there. Head in here instead. So now we're heading across a bridge here, and we're going to go into a room that is empty besides 2 readables. You're just hearing the robot downstairs around the fountain. Oh, there is a camera that is pretty difficult. We're going to leave through that door, but we're going to read those things first. We are caught there. Okay, I think if we're crouched there, we are good. Still haven't gauged cameras 100% in terms of how great of an angle they can actually see you at. Read that. Flemian. I think not. As you say, may the best banker be selected. Devel. So that is maybe the response he gave to the first inquiry from Flemian. Flemian. Surely you're being facetious. I don't know if I know what that word means. Facetious. I don't think I've seen that before. When you say that Morrow has a good name. I don't doubt that, given leave, Tyler would select his nephew as the next master banker, but it's not just you and I who realize that he has the aptitude of a frog. I cannot count the number of times I've overheard a clerk joking at some foolish remark Morrow had made. The idea that one of us be master banker instead is of course the right one, but your thinking is short-sighted, and I have a plan that will generate more wealth for us in the end. We will protest Morrow's selection as master banker, not so much as to prevent it. And we will recommend that each other be selected instead. Morrow will be selected as master banker. He will fail at that role miserably, and as dissatisfaction with him grows, so will confidence in the two of us. When they request that we replace Morrow, we hold out, ostensibly out of prudence, until, out of desperation, they increase the salary of the position to 1.5 times what it is now. Only then will we accept. So what do you think of this idea then, Devel? So the other readable downstairs, the first one we read, is probably the response to this one, because this doesn't actually resolve who of the two of them are going to get chosen. So now we need to head out through this doorway. Because we need to head upstairs again. This can be a little bit tough again.
Strange noise.
That is ultimate bad timing. Because we don't need... don't need to really deal with him. Guess we are a little bit of a pickle here.
Is someone there?
What? Okay.
Someday I'm not going to be a guard anymore.
Yes, friend, I have task at hand. 'Tis my assignment to give you the warning. Please be warned before that is travel.
Good. Okay, so now we can head this way. We're now up on the 3rd floor, so we can head to the northwest. This was the door that was pickable. That is...
It is my assignment to return to repairs needed. I do not know. Where is a malfunction? Down below this place. Task at hand. I hear me not as much dangerous conditions. Praise Karis, farewell.
Here we got to take a couple pieces of loot.
I do not know. Be it true that thou dost travel from this place? Yes,
Dodge this camera. This is not too difficult.
'tis my assignment to give you the warning.
Took a stack of
Be warned.
silver coins and a stack of gold coins.
Travel. I have heard. How can I help you? Nearest star, I have found dangerous conditions. A malfunction.
I'm not sure if he is seeing me or giving first alert
I do not
chirps
know.
there.
Be it true that thou dost travel from this place? Yes, friend, I have task at hand. 'Tis my assignment to give you the warning. Please be warned before thou dost travel. I have heard. How can I
Good.
help you?
So now we have to head north. There, if you time them correctly, you can do that. So this is the office in the northeast, and that is where the secret opened up when we flipped the lever, the little switch in the other room, and that opens up an area back here. A little sort of prison chamber, and there's a ring here worth 75, total 2160. There's also a flare in this room, of all things, under the desk. Maybe a flare for the dark room back there. And then there is another pickable safe with a purse. Total 2235. Good. We have all the loot from this floor then. Guard is back. Out here. We're going to have to follow him now. And then head around the corner. And we got to remember now to close up the entrance to that secret area. This is easier going this way because we can see around the corner. He didn't hear that. Here. Close that back up. Oh, it's just a robot.
Blessed are those who are born of the fire. The flesh is sin. Please repeat that. Blessed are the welded, for they will know the builder's love. The builder's love. Blessed.
Hope I'm not screwed here. Doesn't seem like I am, and that's pretty good.
That?
This is pretty good timing because we can... Let's go all the way back to the office there. Now we can finally lock the door here too. Let me give it a real save. So we have to drop down again here a second time. That might not be as easy as it was last time. There's not much in it here.
Terrorists have forced me. The word of Paris controls me. It is by his will alone that I exist.
Oh, we got it. Awesome. So now we're going to head west. Last time we headed east. We're going to head west now, which is this way. So now we're in this room, and we have not hit this office or these hallways. There's a guard in there. Yeah, there's a archer behind me. But there's also an archer the other direction. Here's a journal we haven't read. So this is Morrow's journal, just so you know. The banker that everybody complains about. Let's see why. Thank you, my good fellow bankers, for your attendance here tonight, and thank you to my Uncle Tyler for picking me to be the next person who will be in the position of the master banker, because he knows, like all of you do, that I will do the best job at that job, and that in my capable hands the First City Bank and Trust will grow in prominence and wealth in the city. Our valued clients will continue to fill our coffers with their wealth, which we will have used to generate more revenue to improve our wages and our services to our clients, which are always improving. For that is really what our goals must be, and we must all continue to focus on the important issues at the bank, which are our goals, to make money and to please our clients. Right. Let's hire him. Right now. Green mace. Oh. 2 stack of silver coins. And this is a safe spot. The base was worth 25 and the 2 silver coin stacks 24. So that's 2284. That is max loot for the mission. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. This is the door that leads to the other room with the journals and the camera. Now this is...
Hello?
Okay, I might be... am I screwed here a little bit?
Well, seems clear.
If I run in here quickly, can I do this?
Is someone there?
I don't know if I can, actually. I might be a little bit dumb here. He didn't see me. Good. That door there, I was going to check if that was pickable, but I do think it responds to both the red and the silver key. Yeah, it's not pickable. So we are now here. We have to hit these rooms, and then we are good. Shouldn't quick save out and open like I did earlier. That's not good. So this is a room, an empty room that is just south of the guard room. That there's no reason for you ever to go into unless you're passing through. Make sure that I got out of the way before he came back. Alright, so this is now the exit door for us. Whoa. We have to lock block that because we are going to end up returning. the red key.
I am the holy vessel that pleases the builder. Praise Paris.
I hope I was safe there. So when you are going to return a key, but still lock a door that the key is required to open, you have to lock it and then block it open afterwards. You have to do the same thing with these doors. Okay. That's how it was positioned too. Okay, let's just go through the inventory and make sure we have what we need here. We haven't picked up any weapons. Compass we started with flash bombs. The mechanist recording is an objective, of course. Full loot. Safety deposit box we had in the beginning. Same with scouting orbs. That's it. Oy. All right. That's it. Oh, excellent. That was a successful perfect thief, which means that we adhered to all the regular ghost rules and got all the loot. It was an unsuccessful supreme ghost run because we took 2 busts. We had to turn off the lobby security cameras. There were 4 cameras. That still only counts as 1 bust though, because it was only 1 switch. But we also had to disconnect the vault camera that stared straight at the vault entrance. So 2 busts. Busted the same rule there, but we did reset those cameras and we did close up everything else except for the vault security pole, which cannot be reset. Total time 1 hour 51 minutes 23 seconds. 2284 loot out of 2284. Pockets picked 0 out of 18, so that was one of my goals there. Locks picked 9, so those were 7 safes, and then the 3rd floor double doors to the security office and the double doors to the office with the red key, but we relocked both of those doors. The other 7 were safes and cannot be relocked. Backstab 0, knockout 0, damage dealt 0, damage taken 0, healing taken 0, nothing and nobody killed, no Iron Beast destroyed or disabled. We found 2 out of 2 secrets as well, so that's nice. And campaign totals, time so far 5 hours, 31 minutes and 16 seconds. Loot so far 10,216 and total damage dealt 8. That's from the 8 knockouts from running interference. Excellent. This is one of my favorite missions of all time. I will give this a 95%. To me, it's a perfect one building mission. Tons of entrances, tons of various ways to get around the map, and in verticality as well. You can go up and down on the floors in different ways, as I showed you today. And it's very easy to play this mission but not have visited all the areas. So it invites replayability a lot. Even now, 20 years later, this is still a very fun mission to play. It's very difficult, which is not true for all other Thief 2 missions. When it's too easy, you reduce the incentive or motivation to replay it, I think. So I give it a very high score for that reason. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one as well, and always leave comments on what you think about this mission. Of course, you might not agree with me, but I would like to hear your opinions about it. we are now headed back to T2X. We're going to do a question of knowledge next, which is a fairly straightforward, simple mission. So I'll see you back there before we return again for blackmail from Thief 2. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, stay safe, and I will see you guys around. Have a good day. Bye-bye.